Hey there, it's Parmdeep Vadesha, and welcome to the third video in the preview series for the Multiple Income Stream Super Conference that I'm holding in London from June the 5th to June the 7th, 2009. Even if you can't make the Super Conference, I'm sure you're going to find these videos very useful, so please make sure you've got a pen and paper handy before you start watching. So who am I, and what do I know about multiple income streams? Well, I've been buying properties, below market value properties from distressed sellers for the last 8 years. And I developed a business system called the Tycoon method system, and that has two parts to it. One is generating income streams from property, which we've done for a long time, and the other part is generating income streams from online businesses, which we've also done for quite a while. And these two parts worked together very well to give me financial independence, and I've been investing full time ever since. And because of my success from applying this model, I had lots of people asking me to give them coaching and work with them one-on-one. And so in 2008, which is last year, I shared the property part of the Tycoon method system. The online part I've never shared, apart from in June, I'll be mentioning that on a one-day special bonus for everybody who's coming. But last year, I coached people on the property part. So considering I only gave them half the system, here's some of the results that we've achieved. And as you can see, they each paid me £5,500, which they translated into at least over 20 times their initial investment in just 10 months. And if you're coming to the June Super Conference, you'll get to meet all these guys and girls. Charlotte from Manchester, for example, made over £400,000 from £5,500 invested in coaching with me, and that only took her 10 months. Dr. Salim invested the same amount, and he made over 120. Nabila over 140,000. Maksoom over 240,000. Glenn over 216, Peter over 154, and Sue 247. That's just a small example of the successes that I had. And all these people are coming to the Super Conference in June. And the reason why I've mentioned them is because I wanted you to know that the systems that I'm teaching you throughout these videos do work. And these are people that you can actually meet and ask them how they did it. So it does work. And I suppose the next natural question for everybody is, well, what did they do? What was so different that they did from other people? Well, basically, they followed a system that works. I've proven it over all these years, and they took the strategies and applied them. And I'm giving you small samples of each of the strategies in these videos. As I've said before, it's just like baking a cake. You've got to have the right ingredients and the right methodology, put it all together, mix it up in the right way, and you should be successful if you have the right guidance along the way. And in this series of videos, that's exactly what I'm showing you, the same strategies that I showed them. And let's forget about that for now, and let's go on to the third strategy, which is really important because I want to share it with you. Third income strategy is lease options, and this is really important because it's one of the best strategies for the current climate. Why is it a good strategy? Well, who doesn't want a great cash flow, high quality tenants, and to have their rent paid in full and on time, plus lots of other benefits? I think as a landlord or a landlady, everybody wants those sorts of benefits. And everybody will be using this strategy in the next few months, I guarantee you. We did a seminar on this a couple of months back, and it was full. It was full of people who were from all backgrounds in property, not just the really experienced ones, but some beginners as well, who they all know that this is a strategy to be using during this climate. So what is it? Really, it's very simple. It's two contracts combined. You've got the standard assured short-hold tenancy agreement, which is the standard agreement we use as landlords and landladies. And you combine that with an option agreement, which gives the tenant the right, but not the obligation, to buy your property for a fixed price on or before a set date. So basically what we're doing here is we're renting to somebody who's also got the right, but not the obligation to buy the property. It's very simple. If the tenant does not purchase the property, then you keep all the rent that's paid to date, plus the upfront deposit, which I'll explain in just a second. If the tenant does purchase the property, you sell at a price that gives you a good profit. So why do people do lease options in this climate? Why do they work so well? Well, the main thing is people can't raise mortgages or save enough of a deposit to buy. That's the problem. If that wasn't the case, lease options wouldn't be as popular. So with that in mind, that's what's causing these to become very popular, because people, they've got no choice but to rent, but they still want to buy. So lease option is really the middle ground, because you rent now and you buy later. Okay? Let me give you an example. Let's say you've got a house that's worth 100,000, and to keep the numbers simple, it's been purchased for £80,000. The market rent is £500 per calendar month. Now, because you're giving somebody an option to buy your property later on down the line, you can charge them above market rent because you've given them a privilege that you wouldn't normally give to somebody. So you charge them £100 more than the market rent, so that's £600 a month they're paying you. So already you're a winner. You also charge them upfront anywhere between 2% of the property value to 10% of the property value as the deposit for buying the property in the future. So in this case, I'm only charging 3%, which is £3,000 deposit, which you get upfront from the tenant. Okay, and that's non-refundable if the tenant does not buy the property. So if they don't buy, you keep all that extra £100 a month in rent, and you keep £3,000. Okay. You then grant the tenant to buy the option, an option to buy the property for £95,000 anytime in the next 5 years. Okay, so if the market falls, then you're in a better position, and if the market goes up in the next 5 years, then the tenant will benefit from that appreciation. The reason why I've put 95 rather than 100 is because very often in these cases landlords will give tenants an incentive to exercise the option, but you could go for 100. You could even ask for more than 100. You could say 110,000 because you think the property will appreciate by a lot more in the next 5 years, and that's totally up to you. So you can set the figures however you want. Okay, so here's a diagram explaining exactly how it works. You've got the investor, which is you on the left hand side, and you've got what we call a tenant buyer on the right hand side. Between you both, you've got two things, a lease and an option, and you can see the figures there, £600 a month and length of 5 years. This is a standard 6-month AST which you just renew for that period of time. And then you've got the option agreement, which is upfront fee you've charged is £3,000. The option price is £95,000, and the option period is 5 years. Now let's look at the two situations. So the tenant does not buy. In that case, you keep the £3,000, which is the non-refundable option fee which you charged on day one. You also keep all the rent that's been charged. That's £600 a month, which is £100 more than market value. So you're very happy in that sense. Plus, you can then take that property and do what you want with it. You can do another lease option to somebody else. You can rent it as normal. It's up to you. The great thing about this situation also for you is that the kind of person who's going to have £3,000 to put down upfront is going to be, generally speaking, a high quality tenant because they want to buy the property in the future. They're going to look after it. They're not going to miss rental payments because you make sure that your option is worded in such a way that if any rental payments are missed or the AST is breached in any way, then the option is completely null and void. So that's an important clause to have in your option. So if the tenant, that's what happens if a tenant does not buy. Okay, so you've got a very good tenant who's been paying the rent on time for 5 years or whatever amount of time it's been, and you keep all those benefits I just mentioned. If the tenant does buy, then first of all you make an excellent return on your investment because you should have bought the property. The example we looked at, the example should have been, so you purchased it for £80,000, okay? So the person has bought it for 95 or whatever price you agree, could be 100, could be 105. You've made a great profit on that purchase. Second, you've had a great tenant for 5 years or 4 years or 3 years. So they've looked after the property, you've had no hassle, you've had the rent coming in on time. So it's been a low hassle tenancy from a good tenant, and you've made a good profit on the purchase. So either way, you win. If you're coming to the June Super Conference, as I mentioned earlier on, we're going to cover this in a lot more detail, along with all the other strategies that I've mentioned in the other videos. And you can learn all the stuff that I taught my Tycoon Mastermind Alliance members, the people I mentioned earlier on, for a fraction of what they paid. They paid £5,500. You will pay less than 10% of that to come along to the June Super Conference. So it's an excellent investment, and make sure you're there. I'll introduce you to all the people that I just mentioned as well. The main thing really is that you don't become a victim of the recession. You actually become somebody who profits from it. And we'll teach you lots of strategies for making cash on the side of your job or your business so that you've got the money to take advantage of deals in this climate. Don't forget, I've got a great guarantee. And the reason why I've given such a good guarantee, if you read that, 60 days, make £1,000 a week, because I know I can do it because of the success that I've had with my Tycoon Mastermind Alliance members. And if you use what we're going to show you in June, this is the kind of results that I think are achievable. And if you don't achieve them, you get your money back, so it's no risk for you to come. Don't forget you get extra £1,500 of bonus gifts if you book early. Early means now, because we're running out of time. We've only got just over a week left till the conference. You also get a special bonus extra day with me, learning how to set up an income-generating online business. So I'll teach you the online side of the Tycoon method, which is very exciting. Make sure you look out for my next video, where I'll be sharing the 4th multiple income stream strategy, and that's turning large properties into apartments to significantly increase cash flow and the value of the property. And I hope you're enjoying these videos, and I've got lots more to come. Got 11 in total, so I look forward to seeing you at the next video. Take care. See you soon. Bye.